I've always wondered what you actually get when you spend £400 on a laser like this, and is it actually worth it? Are the features worth that cost? Especially when you compare it with more modest lasers, like this one from Sigmund, which is about £150 and still does all the same features, 3-way, 360, or even this very cheap laser from Magnuson. This is just a red cross laser, and this costs about £30. This video will compare these 6 lasers over different price points, comparing the features and assessing value for money. Be sure to stick around to the end for the conclusion so you can make sure you make the right choice when you buy your laser. Now, some of these lasers were sent to me free of charge by the brands, but there's no obligation for me to even make a video on them, and certainly not any kind of paid endorsement, so these are all my own views. These are the 6 lasers I've got in price order. This is this red cross-line laser from Magnuson, a fairly well-known cheap DIY brand. I bought this myself and it cost me £30. Next is this TacLife green cross-line laser. Again, I bought this one myself and it cost me about £35. Then we've got this Fix 360 2-way green laser level. This cost about £90, but the brand did send it to me a while ago. Then this Sigmund 3-way 360 laser. These cost £150, but again, this one the brand sent to me. Then we've also got this Dovo 3-way 360 green laser, and this one's specifically designed for outdoor use, and this cost £300, but again, this one was sent to me. And finally, I've got this DeWalt 3-way 360 laser. This is a professional level tool. I've actually borrowed this from a friend for the video, but these do cost about £400, so they are a serious investment. Firstly, we'll start with what's in the box for each one. So this Magnuson one, you don't get anything. This is the only thing you get. Next up, the TacLife green laser. Again, you've got the mount. They all basically have that. This one, you actually get a carry case, something to give it a bit of protection, and you get this mount here. So it just screws into the bottom of the laser. These are magnetic, so these you can stick onto like a plaster bead or anything metal. Pretty useful. Nice place to keep it safe, keep it out of the way. Next one, we've got the Fix. This comes with a pretty substantial carry case, pretty heavy duty, thick foam in there. Laser just goes in there. This one you've got, again, magnetic mount, quite a big magnetic mount. USB-C cable. Up next we've got the Sigmund 3-way 360. This comes with quite a substantial carry case again, hard foam. This comes with a leveling mount type thing. You can just screw these feet so you can stick it down somewhere. I'm guessing these hard feet, maybe if you're on carpet or grass or something, it won't wobble so much. You also get the standard magnetic mounts they all seem to have. This one again, USB recharging. They also give you this target, so it's for using it outdoors. Just makes it a bit easier to find the laser. Then we've got the Dovo, which comes with a pretty substantial case. Pretty large mount. Looks like it's magnetic, and it will clip onto things and hook onto things. This one you actually get 2 batteries, charging mount for the batteries, laser target. This one also comes with a remote control, like a little car key fob, so you can control it. So if you want to turn the vertical on, hit the V button. Turn the horizontal off. Useful. Don't know how often I'd use it, but a useful feature. Then finally we've got the DeWalt. This is a pretty substantial bit of kit, and it comes with a big case. This one, pretty heavy duty case, just all plastic inside, fairly standard from DeWalt. You've got yourself a mount here, not magnetic, it doesn't look like, it looks like it clips onto stuff, and a target. Not too much in the DeWalt box. It's a very bright day today outside, so I've decided to set up all the lasers and see which ones are brightest and which ones can actually be used outside in this kind of brightness. So got them all here, cheapest to most expensive, same order. Starting with the red one. You see the red cross on this piece of paper, but it's completely disappeared, having walked about 1.5 meters. Next up, the £5 more expensive one, the £35 TacLife. This one you can see the green cross there. Walking over to the fence, it is just about visible. It's the furthest leftmost cross on the page. Then next the Sigman. Sigman here is this middle cross on the page, and pretty visible on the paper, not particularly visible or visible at all just on the fence. Next up we've got the Dovo. Now this one here, this one is actually marked as being particularly good for outside, and then the DeWalt one. Just on the page here you can see the left cross is the Dovo and the right cross is the DeWalt. The Dovo one's quite a lot brighter. So there you can see the cross in the left hand corner, bottom left is the Dovo one, and this barely visible cross in the top right is the DeWalt. So Dovo is much brighter, but not that much brighter than the Sigman. But this here, this cross that you can see on the fence, that's the Dovo one. What I will say is these tests were all just in the shade up against that fence. Now we'll try in the sunlight. You can just about make out the Dovo one just here, but it's very faint. And the DeWalt one, you can't make it out at all. They all include these target finders, which I'm not convinced make it much easier to actually find the laser, but you can see it just about on here as you can on the paper. So I've set up all 6 lasers just on my kitchen worktop, and they're just shooting across the kitchen so I can compare how bright they all are. Same order, cheapest to most expensive. And the ordering is the same, so the leftmost is the cheapest red, then you've got this slightly bluey green, which is the £35 one, then Gotcha Fix, Sigman, the Dovo, and then the DeWalt at the end. Quite surprising that the DeWalt isn't brighter, to be honest, and that the 3 in the middle are fairly similar. But what you can see is all the laser lines are very similar height to each other. They all seem to be running in parallel. Doesn't seem to be any differences in terms of accuracy that you'd notice. So I think we can assume they're all level and they're all accurate because they're all showing the same thing. Now, just to make it easier to see them, I've put these pieces of paper here so it's very clear. So that top right hand cross, the pulsing one, is the DeWalt. I've labelled which each laser is so you can see the actual cross. So based on this, I would say the brightest ones are the Dovo or the Sigman. Next up is features. These 2 cheap ones don't really have any features other than just the cross-line laser. Then we've got the Gotcha Fix here. We've got a horizontal and vertical button, so you don't have to have them both on at the same time. You've also got a brightness button. You can see here the brightness changing. Then we've got the Sigman one, which the battery bar actually does show you how much you've got left. And this one actually is Bluetooth controlled, so you can turn off the horizontal and vertical. And you can also change the brightness. Again, this red button changes the brightness. 4 levels of brightness. Bluetooth, I haven't personally connected it myself, but same principle as just having a remote control. The Dovo one, similar. You've got two brightness levels, low and high, vertical, horizontal control, no battery indicator on this one. Then finally the DeWalt, you've got controls for turning each axis on and off, but other than that there's no brightness control or anything like that. Next up we're going to look at build quality. Magnuson one, pretty basic, kind of softish plastic, not too bad. It's going to survive a drop, but probably not going to survive being thrown around every single day. They all have the lock button on the side that just keeps the laser intact. Very similar for the Tac Life one. It's this slightly soft plastic that will have a little bit of a bounce to it, so if it does fall it should survive, but it's not going to survive regular falls. The Gotcha Fix, a little bit more substantial here. You've got some kind of bumper edges on the sides for if you do drop it, it's going to bounce and hopefully last a bit better. Then we've got the Sigman here. Again, although these look like metal, I'm pretty sure they're all still plastic. And this one, reasonably robust, but again, it's not going to survive many drops. Dovo, similar really, not much in the way of protection, although this is quite a big unit, so there's probably a bit of empty space in there, so maybe it will survive a bit more of a fall. Then the DeWalt, pretty heavy duty stuff, by far the weightiest of all of these, and this one I suspect is well designed to be dropped multiple times and survive without any trouble. In terms of weight, this Sigma one is probably the nicest feel to it and one of the lightest. You can see here size comparisons is quite a bit smaller than the Sigma, and compared with the DeWalt, pretty tiny. Now both of these budget lasers are both double A's, very easy to just change, but obviously not rechargeable unless you go and buy rechargeable double A's, and you have to stop using it and potentially take it off a mount to get to the batteries. The Gotchi Fix, you can charge it whilst using it, which is pretty useful. You can also remove the battery and charge the battery, so you've got USB-C port there. This is a 4 amp hour battery, as you can see on there. Then Sigma, this one, again USB Type-C, you can charge it on the fly. You can't access the battery in this though, the battery is sealed in the unit. And this one you've got a 4000 milliamp hour battery again. Then the Dovo, this one can be charged whilst in use, but it also comes with 2 batteries and you can change the batteries. Now these batteries are 2600 milliamps, so a bit smaller than the previous ones that were 4000. Then the DeWalt, this one you can't charge it on the fly, however if you're already bought into the DeWalt battery platform you can very easily just change the battery, or you can stick your 5 amp hour battery on there, or bigger. So this, we won't have any trouble running this all day with a big battery. You've got the battery indicator too, very useful if you're already bought into the DeWalt battery platform. So in conclusion, if spending £150 plus on a laser level just isn't an option for you, then this green cross laser is what I would recommend buying. Personally, I would get green rather than red. I think they're a lot brighter, the green, a lot easier to see. I myself have done a lot of DIY with this green laser and it served me really well. And for the money, you get a good return on it. So if £150 is just out of your price range, this for 35 is really what you should spend your money on. Now this Gotchi Fix, this is a 360 laser, but it's only a 2-way. So you notice this front is blanked off. Now 360 laser is great, but I wouldn't bother getting one that isn't 3-way, because this isn't very useful if you're doing something like anything on a ceiling really. So something like downlights, if you want to square up downlights on a ceiling, the fact you haven't got this 3-way means that it's going to be a lot harder and not really very useful at all. So if you're getting 360, don't scrimp on it and go the full way, get the 3-way 360. So I wouldn't bother with this. The best value laser I've got here is this Sigma 360 3-way laser. It's small, compact, rechargeable battery. You can recharge it on the go. It does Bluetooth as well, so you can turn it on and off from a distance if you need to. Really a great piece of kit. And £150, it's in the mid-price range, but you get a lot for your money. Also, a bright laser, as you saw in the test, so this has a good range on it, and I think it would serve any DIY really well. And finally, your pro level lasers. If you're a professional looking to spend a lot of money, I would go with something like the DeWalt. Now this is £400, so this is a big investment, but if you're already bought into the DeWalt battery platform, then this is great because you can stick any battery on the bottom here. So the fact that you can't recharge it on the fly is not such a problem because you can just swap the battery out really easily. However, wasn't so great on the brightness and the range. Couldn't really see it outside either. So there's that to consider as well, depending on what you're going to use this for. At the pro level, you've got the Dovo as well, which did fare well, and outside it was by far the brightest. Good range. This one's £300, so a bit more affordable. Seems pretty durable. You get 2 rechargeable, removable batteries. You can recharge it on the fly as well. However, for your average DIYer, the Sigma, £150, this is what I would go for. This is the best value. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.